So here we are again, family. Another quiet weekend with Meghan posting some sweet, innocent Easter moments on Instagram, only for the usual suspects to lose their minds over it. And when I say lose their minds, I mean they've spun themselves into a frenzy over a repost. Not a statement, not a press release, not even a caption claiming anything controversial. Just a repost of a thank you message from the Vice President of Ukraine. And baby, the royal gossip machine combusted. But let's set the scene here. Prince Harry had just come back home to Montecito after a surprise and meaningful visit to Ukraine. That's right, while the British press was busy licking the boots of bitter palace courtiers and obsessing over photo ops, Harry was actually on the ground, making real connections, doing real work, showing up with humanity and grace in a war-torn country. The Ukrainian people, including government officials, were deeply moved by his visit. They gave him special Easter gifts, including a beautiful basket and traditional Ukrainian Easter cakes. It was a touching gesture of respect and appreciation, something pure. And what did Meghan do? She shared a simple video, just a peaceful, sweet family moment, showing her husband and children enjoying the Easter treats and honoring the culture of a country still under siege. No drama, no royal references, just love. But then the Vice President of Ukraine wrote a public message, thanking the Sussexes again, and addressed either Meghan or Harry, it's not even clear which one, with the term, Your Royal Highness. That was their choice of language, not Meghan's, not Harry's. And Meghan, out of politeness and solidarity, reposted it. Now pause right there, because that's where the knives came out. Cue the screeching headlines. The furious sources close to William, the pearl-clutching courtiers. Suddenly we're being told this is a provocation, that William is furious, that he plans to strip them of their HRH styles for good once he becomes king, like this is Game of Thrones, and he's some calculating master of the realm. The same man who couldn't even keep his own affairs out of the press is now claiming he's going to be a tough, decisive monarch. Give me a break. Let's talk about how absurd this is. Meghan and Harry agreed not to use their HRH styles for branding purposes when they stepped away from royal duties. That's it. They never renounced them. The styles still legally exist. And let's be honest, Meghan reposting someone else's message that used the HRH isn't violating any rule. That's not using the style. That's acknowledging a message of gratitude and international diplomacy. But the press is so desperate to manufacture outrage that they twisted a kind gesture into some grand rebellion. And here come the friends of William saying things like, when William becomes king, the gloves will come off. That Harry and Meghan could be more harshly dealt with. One source even said, it wouldn't take much to provoke William to flex his muscles. Oh, is that right? Flex his muscles? Honey, let's be real. William hasn't flexed anything but his jawline in years, and even that's questionable. The truth is, this entire meltdown isn't about a title, it's about control. It's about William's long-standing obsession with diminishing Harry. It's about the firm's resentment toward a couple who refused to stay silent, who refused to stay broken, and who walked away from an institution that was never designed to support them. Harry and Meghan built something real. They built a life outside of the palace walls. They found their voice. They've been recognized across the world not just as royals but as activists, as leaders, as humanitarians, and that burns the palace up, because they were never supposed to succeed outside of the royal bubble, but they did. And not only did they succeed, they did it with grace. That's what this is really about, not the HRH, not Instagram, not Easter cakes. It's about the fact that Harry and Meghan continue to thrive while the rest of the royal family keeps sinking deeper into their own irrelevance. Let's not forget, while William was throwing silent temper tantrums over an Easter message, Harry was out there with actual world leaders, supporting victims of war, advocating for veterans, and being received with honor. Meanwhile, Meghan was at home being a mom, sharing a moment of kindness, uplifting a country under siege. And what does the press do? They attack, they twist, they manipulate. This isn't new, this is the same tired formula. Meghan smiles, they sneer. Meghan supports, they sabotage. Meghan breathes, and suddenly it's a constitutional crisis. And now we're supposed to believe that the heir to the throne is sitting around, counting the days until he can take titles away from his own brother and sister-in-law? This is what he's focused on? Not homelessness, not poverty, not modernizing the monarchy, but punishing Harry for living his truth. This is not leadership, this is petty, this is weak, and it's laughable. Because here's the truth, Harry and Meghan don't need the HRH. They never did. The world sees who they are. Their power doesn't come from a title, it comes from their actions, from their courage, from their compassion, the kind of power you earn, not inherit. And while the palace is playing these desperate little games, the Sussexes are building a legacy. They're raising two beautiful children in a loving home. They're doing the work, they're inspiring people every day, and no bitter, balding royal can take that away. So let William stew. Let the friends of the future king keep leaking nonsense to the press. Because at the end of the day, Harry and Meghan have something far greater than a title. They have love, they have purpose, and they have us, millions of people around the world who see them, support them, and won't be fooled by the lies. So to everyone watching, if you're tired of the gaslighting, the double standards, and the relentless attacks on this couple, make sure you're subscribed to Royal Sussex Squad. This is the space where we tell the truth, where we uplift, where we defend the dignity of two people who have done nothing but try to live honestly, love deeply, and serve meaningfully. Support the channel, hit that like button, leave a comment, and if you really want to help keep this truth-telling going strong, drop a super thanks to show your love and stand with Harry and Meghan against this madness. Prince William plans to take away the Sussexes HRH styles for good when he's king over the weekend. The Duchess of Sussex put some really sweet videos and messages on her Instagram stories. Prince Harry returned home to Montecito after a surprise trip to Ukraine, where Ukrainian officials had given him some really special gifts. The gifts included a lovely Easter basket and a package of special Ukrainian Easter cakes. The Easter basket was given to Harry in person by Ukraine's Minister of Economy, Yulia Svyridenko. Meghan posted the Sussex family enjoying the Easter cakes and using some of the gifts in the Easter basket. In response to Meghan's IG stories, Svyridenko wrote a note to Harry and Meghan and posted it online. Meghan reposted the message, which addressed either Meghan or Harry, it's not entirely clear which one, as Your Royal Highness. Soon after, the Daily Beast's royalist column quoted sources close to both King Charles and Prince William. The sources were throwing a huge F-King tantrum about the use of Your Royal Highness in the message, and they were fully attacking Meghan for daring to repost the message on her IG. Get it, because Harry and Meghan agreed not to use their HRHs, which they didn't. Someone else used the royal style and Meghan only reposted the message out of support for Ukraine. But look what we have here. Suddenly the royalist has discovered his chatty sources close to Prince William. Those sources were especially talkative circa 2022 and 2023. Not so much these days, but the HRH issue has lit a fire under some bald dummy's arse. Prince William could formally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles when he becomes king, sources have told the Daily Beast. Meghan appeared to reassert her and Harry's titles in an Instagram post at the weekend, reposting a message from the Vice President of Ukraine addressing her as Your Royal Highness. William's hardline position contrasts with a relaxed attitude from King Charles, who, one friend said, would not want to open a new front in the civil war between the royals and Harry and Meghan. For now, friends of William say, he will respect his father's rank and follow his lead, but they say that when William becomes king, Harry and Meghan could be more harshly dealt with. One friend of William told the Daily Beast, William has been given a great deal of influence on all areas of royal policy, but that cuts both ways and he respects his father's rank. Charles has a softly attitude to Harry and Meghan, and so that's the policy for now, but the gloves will be off when he inherits the throne. If they started using the HRH titles on a regular basis, he would take them away for good. Another friend of William's added, It's no secret William wants Harry more harshly dealt with. He thinks he has betrayed the family from top to bottom, which is the ultimate Windsor crime. It wouldn't take much to provoke him to flex his muscles when he is king. The friend of the king said, Charles isn't going to open a new front in the Civil War on the basis of one Instagram post, and it's not as if they are calling themselves HRH. I think everyone is pretty clear at this stage what the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's position in the family is. Others would argue that their position is far from clear, especially to casual users of social media around the world who simply view Harry and Meghan as royals. Despite the tenuous deal hammered out at the so-called Sandringham Summit, after the left the family which saw them agree to not market their royal connections and not use their HRH titles, there have been many calls in the UK for the couple to be stripped of their titles, including parliamentary bills, none of which have been successful. It wouldn't take much to provoke him to flex his muscles when he is king. For years now, I've believed that doing potential harm to Harry is basically the only reason why William is interested in the crown. He doesn't give a tea about state business. He's one of the laziest men on earth, he's barely literate, he's uncultured, unfaithful, and uncouth, but he has one motivation: to copy and destroy Harry. Peggington plans to yank the HRH style, and he'll probably try to yank the Sussex titles too. That's the only reason he gets up in the morning. What a loser. They want to silence them. But we're not going to let that happen. Not on our watch. This is Royal Sussex Squad signing off. Stay real, stay righteous, and stay Sussex strong. We'll see you next time, family. And as always, protect the crown that chose freedom.